Hi guys, it's Belle here, and it is prompt 7 of the hashtag the Oddtober 24 challenge hosted by the lovely April from Pink Oddbird. Don't forget to use this hashtag either here or on Instagram, either if you're taking part or if you want to check out what everyone's doing. And as always, I will leave April's video all about this channel challenge down below. Please do go check that out because there's still plenty of time to join in, guys. As you can see, I'm a few days behind, but I will catch up. So prompt 7, we've just been down a super crunchy bumpy road full of beetles and spiders. Also, I'm going to show you that tag at the end of this video because it did dry kind of clear, so I want to show you that. So please do keep watching if you want to see how yesterday's tag turned out now that it's fully dry. So prompt 7, I drive for a bit looking for a way back to the main road. Yeah, after the bone collector, the dog, and creepy crunchy road, I would be. When I see a cave tunnel up ahead, something is definitely hiding inside. Okay, so my brain saw the word tunnel, and that's how I've created this tag. It says cave, which cave is normally a natural phenomenon. But then it also said tunnel, and obviously you can drive through cave tunnels. I mean, I've done it in the Alps, but I still saw the word tunnel. So do you know what? We're going with it this way. It may not be exact to the prompts, but this is what I'm doing. So I actually cut out a tag in the same size, 6 by 3.5. I also marked up which is the back because I cut out 2 of them and I cut the tag tops corners the same, so I wanted to make sure I was working on the right side. So we've got our base, and then I have basically very roughly, which is what I wanted, because if we are going cave, we're going to go a bit, you know, more natural on the edges. But I just cut out a little entrance to our cave tunnel. I've got this brick stencil, and this is what I was saying about when I saw tunnel, I thought of stones. We're going with it. And so, because that's what I want to do. And sadness, I'm going to be using, I want this more, I don't want it looking as perfect, so I want it more like that. We're going to be using my Crypt grit paste. We haven't got a lot of it left, but I love it. And you know what? It's lasted me since last year, and I've ordered another one. So let's just use, I love this stuff, so why not? Why not use it? I've got it. What's the point of not using it? And I'm putting it straight onto the black, guys, because if you have worked with Crypt paste or seen any of my previous videos where I've worked with it, you will know that it dries kind of clearish. It's got this grey colour to begin with, and it's got a greenish tinge, or I found that it has, when it's dry, like a brownish greenish tinge. And it will pick up any inks and things that you have below. So I'm putting it on the black because I was originally just going to use my black texture paste, but I thought, do you know what? It's not going to give me the look I want. It's going to be more flat, whereas this has slightly different colours in it. And again, I'm thinking, what kind of stone could this be? All that kind of thing. And then it will also take colour a lot better than the black the black texture paste will, because it will go translucent, so I can ink over it and things like that. And it gives me those flecks that remind me of, you can already see like the black flecks. Let me bring it up a little bit. That give me that kind of stone feel. Again, I know it's supposed to be a cave. My tag, I'm doing it. It's a man-made cave, or maybe it's a tunnel. Right, here's how we're going to change the story to fit with my tag. This is what I'm going to do. It is a natural cave, but maybe someone has put bricks on the outside of the natural cave to try and make it look more attractive, because people sometimes do that. So that is what we're going with, guys. So natural cave inside, but the outside has these kind of bricks, but they are carved out of the natural, they're not man-made bricks. They've kind of carved them and taken them out of the environment. A bit like if you live up north in England, especially around Lancashire and Yorkshire and those kind of areas, you will know about the stone walls, where they're not really held together with anything. They're just put together with stones. Yeah, I used to love those walls. I remember my dad telling me a story once of when he was younger and he was up that way in Lancashire. They've got all these old farmlands with those stone walls that just kind of slot together, and he would hide things in between them. But anyway, that's what it's kind of giving me the feels of. Right, I'm going to take this off. I don't mind if it's a little smudged. I don't need it absolutely perfectly perfect, because again, we're going to fill it in with some stuff. I feel like there's lots missing here though. That is bothering me a little bit. So we are going to maybe try, let's do it this way because we've already got the Crypt paste on it. Try and put some bricks on here. Again, don't mind if it's smudged a teensy tiny bit. We don't want it completely perfect. Right, so we're going to bring it in, fill in those gaps a little bit. But yeah, this is what I'm going for, that they've taken stones out of the natural world around, and then they've made this facade, probably in the Victorian era. It feels right. The Victorians did this a lot. I might just have Victorians on the brain because of the journal that is now finished, and you will be seeing it tomorrow. So yes, it's the first large journal I've finished in quite a while. So it was quite the challenge, guys. But yeah, anyway. So that's coming tomorrow. But I may just have Victorians on the brain. Plus, when I think of creepy spooky, my mind goes either medieval or Victorian. And yeah, that's what it does. Actually, I quite like that made the texture paste a bit more rough. So hold on, let me just put some bricks down here too. We're driving in to the tunnel. Obviously this would not, you would not be driving through a tunnel over it like that. I get that, guys. I get that. I get it's not realistic, but it's a tag and it doesn't have to be realistic, as I keep telling myself. What I'm now going to do is, where can you see where the stencil touched these? They were a bit all over. I kind of just want to roughly, maybe even go on with my and just like buff up the texture paste a little bit. Ah, yes, like that a bit more. It doesn't look quite as flat. Again, we're going to be adding things in between these and on top, because do you know what I haven't added to any of these tags yet? Oh, I don't think so. Let me think back. No, I don't think I have. Well, I drew a tree, but I haven't added any plants really yet, guys. And again, you all know how I love to work with nature. Okay, so Crypt paste everywhere. So that is my kind of tunnel, which will sit on top of this, like so. Now, the other thing I need to do, I need to move this first because I need to put this where it can dry. The other thing I need to do before it goes is, before it goes and sits and dries, is I need to cut, I want a spider web kind of hanging down, I think, on this side. So I'm going to cut that because we've just had spiders on the road and it makes no sense to me to not have spider webs actually in the tunnel, cave tunnel. All right, and we're going to emboss this, but I'm going to use, I was debating, do I want black sparkle or do I want clear, or what do I want? And I ended up deciding I wanted just clear embossing paste, because powder, sorry, not paste. I do have embossing paste, but the clear embossing, because I want it to kind of still be that dark color of the black, but I want it to shimmer, because I'm thinking when you've got your headlights, it'll shimmer in the headlights, the spider web, because that's what they do, don't they? You see them shimmer. It's one of my favorite things at winter time, you know, when you go out and there's been a lot of frost and then you see all the spider webs looking all pretty. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, so I'm going to move that off here and put this away. And then I'm going to get my heat tool and I am going to emboss this. Okay, guys, so I actually double emboss. So let me bring that up and you might be able to see. But in some areas, there's almost like, oh, I don't even know if you can see. There's almost like a lighter tinge or a different colour. And that's because I went over some of it with the glow in the dark, the Wow embossing powder. There we go. Because we've got some glow in the dark aspects already, like the dog's eyes. Working black on blacks a bit. You can't really see anything, can you? Let me put this down. So I just wanted to add another aspect. So that's going to be there. That'll go up at the top. Like so, because you know. Now here's the other thing. I know this is wet and I do need to leave it to dry, but I wanted to show you what we're going to use inside. So I brought the Art House Whimsy Vintage Horror Photos, and this is page 18, and let me show you what I'm going with, because it says that the person thinks, what's it say? There's definitely something hiding inside. So I've seen the next tag that I'm working on. So I have picked, I mean, look at them. Anyone else getting the Addams Family in their song in their head? Neat, sweet, petite. Just saying. I'm going to choose this creepy kooky girl. Firstly, because I like the background. It looks like it could be in a tunnel. We've got some leaves and that at the bottom. I was thinking this lady because of the bone collector. But secondly, she looks like she's floating, so that's cool. And I like the fact that there's this kind of strand of foliage coming down behind her. Now, I know this is a wall, but once it's on the black, let me show you. You don't really see the fact it's a wall. It just looks slightly cracked. It's really hard to show you this and it not reflect, but, you know, I've printed this out on transparency, so... She is going to be in our tunnel, and I need to kind of see roughly where to place her, because we're going to have this, but I also want some of that foliage, so she's going to be more off to the side. I think we're going to cut her so that she's more here, so that you kind of see her, but I do want that foliage too, so I can see the tag behind. Yep, that's much better. So what I need to do is that's going to cut into him as well, which I can still use him in something. Right, so I need to realistically try and, where's my white pen? Try and, let's move her slightly, mark where my tag ends with the white pen, and then I am going to go and cut her out. Okay, so I've actually cut her out a bit smaller. Instead of 6, I've done 5 3/4, and instead of 3.5 this way, I've done kind of 3 3.25, I think, because I will be gluing all the other tag onto here, and I'm trying to work out if I want her to pull out or not, and I think I do. I think I want her to come out of the tag. That will be a decision I make when we put the tag together, but that is what I'm thinking. So far we will have the tag, the creepy eeky girl, which again you don't see very well once she's on the tag, but that is the whole point, because you know it's dark, it's nighttime. I don't want to be looking at what's actually in the it's one of those things where, oh, did I just see something, you know, one of those. I will clean this acetate laminator off because it's getting all the dust on my fingers, and then this will go over the top like so. You see where I'm going, guys? I may or may not want her moved out, I don't know. And obviously we're going to have a spider web too, and we're going to add some foliage, but for now what I need to do is I need to let this dry, I need to clean this off, and then I'm going to come back once this is dry and we can finish up the tag. Okay guys, so this is basically dry, and you see what I mean about the Crypt paste, kind of you get this greenish mottled look, but also it picks up the colour underneath, but we're still going to do more to it. So let's do a little bit more to that, because yeah, I need to grab my water. So yes, let's get started. I want to see if we can add some of the distress stain. Again, I'm going to use the vintage photo to begin with, just to add a bit more colour onto here. And even though we've already got the black paper, I'm going to add some of the, it's not distress stain, it's the oxide, vintage photo oxide. And this is the vintage photo black soot, just in some places. I'm going to blend those together. Honestly, I need to clean the lids off those because they kind of always leave me with a dirty finger where I take the lid off. Get the words out better. So yeah, I feel like we need more over here. That's just picking up beautifully on those the texture paste that I've used. A bit more black. Okay, and I think what I want to do is, I think I want to again move these around a little bit, add some water to it after just drying all that texture paste, and then we're coming on and just let's have them dripping a little bit. We like that, but it gets in amongst all, and we'll still see a lot of that black speckling that Crypt paste has so beautifully. Oh, I love it already, guys. But what I want to do is I want to kind of dry this, and then I want to add a little bit of the cracked pistachio, because we've been adding that to some of the projects, and I just want to pick up that green colour. I just like things carried through. So I'm going to dry this, and then we'll add the cracked pistachio. Okay, so that's dry-ish. Let's add just a touch of cracked pistachio in places. Not too much. I just want to bring in some of that that grungy green colour. Yes, please. Add a bit more water to get some movement now of all those colours together. Oh, love it. I just love it. Let's move it a little bit again. I've decided I'm not going to make this as a pocket where she can come in and out. It would be easy enough to do that. I've sort of done that with other things before that you've probably seen. Yeah, I'm going to dry this completely now. And because I'm drying it, obviously this is texture paste underneath. So when you heat that, it can bubble a little bit. So if you're going to do this and you're not used to drying with the texture paste, keep your heat gun moving quite a lot. It will take a lot longer to dry the ink. I don't mind some bubbling. That can be quite effective, but obviously you don't want it to bubble up too much. So I'm going to dry that and I'll be back. Okay, so I actually did bubble up some of the stones. Let me bring that up. Do you see how that's got that whitish bubbling? But only on some of them, but it just brings out the texture. And you can see, we can still see some of that black from the Crypt paste. Ah, those colours just, yes. Now, obviously, when you're drying and you're using texture paste and things, your piece can become a bit bent out of shape, and it depends. If you've got time, you can put it under something to flatten it. I just find that when I'm heating it, I bend it as well so that it makes it nice and flat. Obviously, we're going to add even more, guys. We're going to add even more black soot distress, because the inside of this I just want to make as dark as possible. We probably won't get much at all, but you know what, it'll just make me feel good to put it there, because obviously it's going to be dark in the dark cave tunnel. Ookie cookie spooky. So yeah, loving it. All right, now, as I said, I am not going to, I'm wondering about putting it that way. Lots of stuff got stuck onto here. That's my fault. I'm wondering about putting her the other way now, actually. That might work. We're going to need to trim some of this off. And this is where it gets interesting, because we're trying to work and see everything. She can move over a tiny bit more. Yeah. Okay, so I like her there. So I'm going to try and stick her down now. Let's lift this corner up. I just want to stick the edges because I don't want to be able to see any of that glue. My glue does dry clear, but for the most part, but you know, it's just better not risking it, really. Smudge that. We're obviously going to have to trim the corners, but that's all good. Like so. Like so. Let's trim these corners now. I know you can barely see her, guys, but that's the whole point. I want her to be almost like she's hidden. Sorry about the glare from the window. I want it to be like she's hidden in the cave. So, yeah. Right. And we want to put this on top. But before we do that, I need to add my cobweb. And I want to add the cobweb underneath. That's what I want. So we're adding a lot of stuff. And I'm hoping this sticks. Because it's embossed, it can take a while for the glue to stick to the glossy. Funny enough, it doesn't matter so much with the acetate, but for some reason with embossing it does. So again, just be aware of that. Okay. And that's great because that will glow in the dark, which unfortunately you guys won't be able to see, but I'll be able to see, which is, you know, adds to my fun of the tags. Okay, now I also have some foliage, guys. And I also want to add some moss, I think, possibly. I do think I want to add just a little bit of moss to spaces. So let's start with the moss. It's this one again that I used on the other tag, on the gate tag. We're going to use some of this, and I don't need too much of it. I literally just want to add a smidge here and there, but I think I want to glue this down first. But I think I'm going to leave just a tiny aperture all the way around, like not glue all of it, because I think I might want to put some foliage going into or out of the tag, and that'll be difficult to do if I glue it the whole way. So I don't want to do that. The top can probably be, I won't even do the whole of the top because I just don't know where I'm going to add the foliage yet. Now, again, my tip, if you are going to be gluing on to acetate or acetate itself, to find my glue lid, is before you add it, just smudge. Just use your finger or a paintbrush or whatever you have to just smudge it, because that then reduces any chance of too much smearage, which when we're working with any kind of acetate or laminator can happen. So here we go, here we go, here we go, go. This will be interesting, trying to line it all up. Got to do it super carefully because there's not much room for error on this. Oh my gosh, guys, already I am loving this tag. Oh, it's creepy and it's grungy, and I'm not going to sing the rest of the song, but you get it. I mean, can you see her, guys? Let me try, and it's really difficult for me to get her so that you can see her, but she's in there, and we've got this gorgeous grunginess all the way around now. Oh, love it. And we've got our spider web that glows in the dark, and now we're going to add a teensy bit of moss here and there because, well, just because. It's just that simple, guys. Because I'm going to add some up here too. I'm going to actually be stitching there, so I don't want to add too much up near the top. Just pull tiny bits of the moss off. We're just going to add it onto these things like so, just to add that bit more texture, to link it with the other tags. I mean, you don't have to link your tags, guys. You don't even have to make your pages in your journal if you're doing this coordinate. I just have a problem. Which is actually proving a problem now, because these last few tags have been much grungier than the first few. So I'm a bit like, how do I feel about that? But, you know, it is what it is. So, but I'm having fun. I'm trying new things. I'm using my favourite items too, which is always helpful, guys. Don't save them, don't hoard them, says me. But yeah, I just play with them, have fun, experiment. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. I mean, I've never tried with my Crypt paste adding inks the way I've just done like this as much, especially onto black. I've normally done it onto a lighter colour, and I am loving how this turned out. And normally I'd avoid the bubbling, and then when it happened, I loved how it looked so much, I then went and added it to some of the others. So, like, just play, experiment. Oh, see, now I'm just loving that already. Now we are going to add a bit of the brighter one, because we did that on the other one, just to add some depth to the foliage. Just to add a little bit more in places. A little bit more. Love it. All I've got is the Addams Family playing over and over and over in my head right now. So that's fun. Oh, that's got like a strand to it. I want the strand. I want it sticking up a bit like a stick. Yes. I'm really trying not to sing it. It doesn't help that I have been rewatching the original series, and I've watched one of the original one of the ones from the 90s, one of those movies too, because I love the Addams Family, and I love watching it at this time of year. I love it any time of year, but I love watching it this time of year. And I'm really waiting for the new Wednesday show to come out. So I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I know I keep saying it, but I do. I love it. I'm thinking I might actually want more down here on this side. I think I might want it to come a bit further down. Actually, I'm going to use some foliage as well, but some die cuts. But for now, I think I want this one to be a bit more on this side. And I've realised I haven't picked out a word. Normally, I love adding words to my stamps. I haven't picked out a word yet, so I will think about that as I'm doing all of this. So I'm going to do the rest of this and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've added moss. As you can see, I added a bit more to this corner too and all down there, and I just love it, guys. I just love it. So we have some kind of, like, I want foliage really. I wanted some like grasses and things kind of coming up or through. I mean, that is obviously too bright. We need it a lot darker. Let's really get the black soot on that. I still want the green, but let's really grunge it up. Maybe even more. I'm wondering about kind of foliage, because you would have it on the edges. You would, you would have plants and things. I have this weird one that's all inked and mottled that looks a bit like a stick. That might be quite fun to kind of add on there as well, like that. I actually rip some of this off. Really ink that bit up. So this is what I'm thinking. This is why I left a bit of a gap so that it could go underneath or on top or whatever I wanted. And we need a third one because we can't not have a third one. I do have some black like beads. I have these. It might be quite nice to bring this in. It's darker still. I mean, it's lighter, but we can darken that up so that it's not as light as it looks. And then we can put that under there too, so that it's all kind of sticking out. We could have that more at this kind of angle, like so. What do we think, guys? I don't think I like that one. That's the problem. Another one of these. Nope, I don't like that one either. We got this little brown stick too. Nope, don't like that either. I might go back to that one. Oh, we've got some ivy. I love ivy. So, because it's smaller, maybe that's what I'm after. Let's cut this. And then we definitely need some black soot on here. Because the thing is, I can't make them just black, because if she's driving near the tunnel, or if I'm driving near the tunnel, my headlights are going to pick up. Yeah, that's better. My headlights are going to pick up some colours, so I don't want them completely black, because I will see certain colours on them. But obviously, they are still at night. Come on, glue. Come on, glue. Right, there you are. Let's turn it this way. It might help me a little bit, because I don't want to take them out now that they're in, because I can see them in place. Come on. I literally just used it. So why is it being naughty? Ah, too much. Too much. Okay. It's like, haha, you were mean to me, so now I'm going to make sure too much comes out for you. Ha ha ha. Well, joke's on you, glue, because I'm going to patch you off. Yes, That's how crazy I've gone. I'm talking to my glue. But come on. How many of us do that? We talk to our craft products. We just do. It's a thing. Let's try not to pretend that it's not. Oh yes, I really didn't know how this one was going to turn out. I knew I wanted that image, and I knew I wanted the Crypt paste with the brickwork ideal, but I really didn't know how it was going to turn out, and I think it's turned out better for me than I thought it was going to, which is a plus, obviously, because we want our projects to be projects that we like. But I mean, it's going to take a while for this to kind of stick in place, because obviously we've got so many different layers and textures and mediums that we're working with. You know, we've got the texture paste, we've got the inks, we've got the moss, we've got the acetate sheet. We've got a lot that this is working with. So I had to pull that up, especially for this green one, but I like the way that it's kind of up and over the moss as well, like so. I feel like this still needs more black soot. Watch me add too much black soot now. Okay, so what do we think? We have our creepy girl. Brilliant. Now I want to go and just stitch a tab topper, but I'm thinking I probably do want some black lace because I like that. And again, it gives me cobwebby feel, the lace, because of the way the lace is. So we could have that. It makes me think of the girl's dress too. I did have some burlap I was thinking of bringing in, but I don't really know if I want that now. But the only way we can find out is if we pull it apart and cut it and see. Oh, actually, I don't mind that. And then I had some of this grungy grey green, what's it called? Cheesecloth. Got the one with the more green in it. Do I want that one? Or do I want the more grey? Choices, choices, choices. I do really like the grey. I mean, I've got a bit with grey and green here. No, I think I just like the grey. Okay, I'm gonna go stitch that, and then we're gonna finish this tag. Okay, so like I think that works so well. And I like to do double stitching on these tags. I don't know, I just think it's adding something. So I picked out a few words, which is dark and gloomy in here, and something wicked this way comes, which I'm thinking would work down there. And what I'm wondering is, do I want to back them? Do I want to add them as is, or do I want to back them on some black card and then use... It would have to be quite thin backing. And then use some glow-in-the-dark paste. Let's see. Around the edge of the black card to really just give it another element. Because there's not enough on here. Oh, come on. We all know what I'm like. See, I think backing it on there will work really well. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to be really, really careful when I use the embossing paste. Okay, so that's that one. Let's see how long this is. Will that fit like that? Oh, it will just. It will just. Something wicked this way comes. But what's the wicked thing? Is it me driving, or is it the thing in the cave tunnel, or is it something else entirely? Yeah, we don't know. We'll find out as the story moves on. Something wicked this way comes. We could have that up there, dark and gloomy in here, and then something wicked this way comes kind of down the, oh, kind of like that in the middle there. Do I want it to the side? Dark and gloomy in here, something wicked. No, I feel like I really like that there, and I really like that one there. That's what I'm feeling. You're probably going, no, Belle, we don't like that at all. But I also really just like it there. I don't know, I feel like it'd work really well across there and really well across here. Maybe even over a tiny bit. I don't know, I don't feel like I like them that spread out. Right, I'm overthinking this now. I know, guys, I know I am. But you have to be happy with where something goes. Do you know what? I think I'm just going to put them down there. That's what I think I'm going to do. Right, so first thing I'm going to do is I've got my embossing pen. Should we have the little one? Let me go grab the little one. No, this one will do fine. And I'm just going to, in places, add some of this embossing pen. And hope it goes on. It should do. And then I'm going to add my glow in the dark embossing powder on top of there, like so. I just want to see if it's in the right place first, because obviously, right, I need to just go over with my finger there. Okay, let me grab the other one that just fell on the floor, because of course it did. Right, now this should be easier to go around. There's a bit more space. So let's do that. So it'll add a little shine. It'll add a little shine during the day, so you'll know there's embossing on it. But at night, it'll really glow. I wish... I'm going to have to try and find a way to show you all. When everything's finished, I'm going to try and find a way to show you the glow in the dark, because it kind of completes the whole look. Okay, I'm going to put this in here, and then I'm going to emboss it, and we'll be back. Okay, so as I said, it adds a little bit of something, a little bit of shine and colour to it during the day, but not too much. And then at night, obviously, it's going to glow. Something wicked this way comes. Do you know what? I think I'm liking it there. I think because it's like the spider web, I think we're going to put it both there, not here. Something wicked this way comes. Dark and gloomy in here. Yes, yes, it's dark and gloomy. And what's that? Out of the corner of my eye. Was that a figure that I see standing there? Was it just a figment of my imagination? There seems to be a lot of strange happenings. Or is it just left over from the trauma that I experienced at the spooky carnival? Which again, I did not take part in that one. I might have to get the prompts though, read through them and see what happens, so that I can possibly... You don't have to. Pink Oddbird's very clear on, doesn't matter if you haven't even done the previous 2 years. It doesn't matter, you can jump straight into this one. But I think, like the way my brain works, I might want to actually see if there's things I can link to that. This is going to take a bit of time to stick because, as I said, we've got texture paste, we've got moss. The other thing that I'm realizing that I really like is, because of the glow-in-the-dark texture paste, the way it looks during the day, it kind of blends in with the stones a lot better. Do you see that? Which again was not something I was going for or knew what would happen. So I'm just trying to get all the bits. Just get my Try and get all the bits off the spooky girl because, yeah, like so. Could have really added a little spider to that spider web, but let's not overthink it now. So that's it, guys. I'm loving it. Anyway, yes. Where has the sheet gone? There it is. So yes. So this was prompt. Where is my pencil? Oh, I had it. Now I don't. There we go. This is prompt 7. That just won't stick down. We can barely see this on here. What am I doing? I can see it enough. This is going to need to be put under something to really adhere that. This glue is great, but it's just because there's so much on here that it's kind of coming up. So prompt 7, guys. I drive for a bit looking for a way back to the main road. When I see a cave tunnel up ahead, something is definitely hiding inside. Yes, she is. Lots of glow in the dark, like I said. I know, cave, more natural, but I think I've kind of managed to make that work with the idea of the stones and the tunnel and the nature and all that kind of good stuff. So that is day 7. I really hope you liked this one, guys. I've had a lot of fun with it. But before we finished, I did promise I would show you yesterday's tag. So I wanted to show you, I'm hoping it's picking up, but you can actually see the scrapbook paper now. Do you see these brown spots? That's the scrapbook paper coming through. I'm really hoping it's showing up. So I was right. It did dry clear, which means we get that beautiful Tim Holtz scrapbook paper. And where I dried some of it with the heat gun, we get this kind of milky effect on some of it where it's dried clear, but it's still got this kind of milky residue, which I also really like because it does remind me of, you know, when a road gets damp and wet and you get like little puddles of water. That's what that's giving me the feels of. Again, did not expect that to happen. I think these work really well together. That's going to have to be flattened, but that's yesterday's one. So yes, so he didn't waste putting the scrapbook paper behind the Tim Holtz hoarded one. We didn't waste that because it has come through. And then this is today's one, day 7. So let me know what you think down below, guys, and I'll be back again soon. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time, guys, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of spooky, crafty fun. Bye for now.